They walked hand in hand down the slope, the basket of pastries swinging lightly from Magnus' other arm. The air had that strange stillness the fjord often held at this hour. Not silence exactly, but a kind of listening. As if the world were waiting to see what would happen next. When they reached the dock, Magnus paused, studying Elena with a soft, searching look. Her hair was tousled from the breeze, her cheeks warm with the glow of the endless sun. Something in his chest tightened, a mixture of wonder and disbelief, like he still wasn't entirely sure she was real. Elena stepped closer. "You're staring." "I'm memorizing," he said. Her breath caught, and for a moment neither of them moved. The world seemed to hold its breath too. Finally, Magnus helped her into the boat and pushed off from the dock. The fjord was unusually calm, a perfect mirror that reflected the mountains, the sky, and the two of them drifting gently across its surface. Elena watched him row, his movements smooth and practiced, the soft splash of the oars the only sound. "I've been thinking," she said quietly. "That sounds dangerous," Magnus teased. She nudged him with her foot. "I'm serious." He slowed the rowing slightly. "Tell me." Elena hesitated, choosing her words. In Oslo, everything felt predetermined. Every concert, every expectation, every smile that wasn't really a smile. But here, I feel like I get to choose again. And I want to choose my life, Magnus. Not the one I was pushed into. He nodded, gaze steady. "Then choose it. And choose it loudly." She smiled. "I want to. But there are things I still need to face. Conversations I need to have. A contract I might have to break." Magnus rested the oars across his lap. The boat drifted gently. "Elena, I'll wait for you." And not the way people say it as a poetic gesture. I mean truly. If you need to step away for a time to settle things, to reclaim your life, I'll be right here. She reached across the boat and brushed her fingers over his jaw, her touch feather-light but full of certainty. "I'm not leaving you. I'm just clearing the space so I can choose us freely, without the shadows of everything I used to be." Magnus leaned in, pressing a tender kiss to her palm. "Then whatever you need, you'll have." The silence that followed wasn't awkward. It was warm, full of shared understanding. The kind of silence that felt like trust. As they neared the cabin, Elena sat forward, eyes widening. "Magnus, is that smoke?" He twisted around and laughed. "Not fire. Just a very enthusiastic attempt at baking." A thin curl of smoke drifted lazily from Elena's cabin chimney. When they reached the dock, a man stepped out onto the porch, waving a wooden spoon like a flag of surrender. "Jonas," Magnus groaned. "Of all the days." Elena blinked. "Who is Jonas?" "My brother," Magnus muttered. "The tornado disguised as a human." Jonas approached the dock, grinning widely. He was taller than Magnus, broader, and carried an energy that seemed to vibrate in the air around him. "Well, well," Jonas called out. "The famous composer. The one turning my brother into a sunrise painting." Magnus closed his eyes. "Please stop talking." Elena laughed, delighted. I'm Elena." "And I," Jonas said with an exaggerated bow, "am the superior sibling." Magnus splashed a handful of fjord water at him. Jonas dodged easily. "I was trying to surprise you both with cinnamon bread," Jonas said defensively. "The smoke is merely enthusiasm." Elena glanced at Magnus with a teasing smile. "He's charming." "He's chaos," Magnus corrected. "A lovable menace." Jonas slung an arm around Magnus' shoulders. "But a menace who approves," he said, lowering his voice conspiratorially. "And if you break his heart," he added to Elena, "I'll steal you and keep you for our family anyway." Magnus shoved him, embarrassed. "Please go away." Jonas winked and disappeared inside the cabin, humming a triumphant tune. Elena giggled. "Your family is wonderful." "You've met two of them," Magnus said dryly. "There are more. Brace yourself." "I'm not scared." She squeezed his hand. Every new person I meet here feels like another puzzle piece fitting into place. Magnus looked at her with a quiet intensity. Including me. Especially you, she whispered. They stepped inside the cabin, where the smell of cinnamon mingled with faint smoke. Jonas had indeed attempted baking, if the flour across every surface was anything to judge by. Elena leaned against Magnus' chest, his arms sliding naturally around her. This feels like a life, she murmured. It is, he said softly. And it's ours to shape. Outside, the midnight sun glowed against the horizon, turning the fjord into a ribbon of molten gold. Inside, laughter, warmth, and the soft stirrings of something lasting filled the air. And as Elena rested her head against Magnus, she felt it, quiet, steady, undeniable. The cavern trembled again, softly this time, as though the mountain itself were steadying its breath. Mira felt the vibration pass through her bones, and for a moment, she wondered if Eldra was whispering back. The thought unsettled her, yet also filled her with a strange, buoyant hope. We should move, Jalen muttered, glancing toward the narrow passageway that stretched deeper into the mountain. If the echo wants us to follow, this is the only direction it's left open. A faint hum drifted from the dark corridor ahead, not threatening but distant and melodic, like a memory refusing to die. Mira stepped toward it, the glowstone in her hand pulsing softly in answer. As they walked, the air warmed. Veins of amber light ran through the stone walls, breathing in slow waves. For the first time, Mira didn't feel watched, she felt guided. It's strange, she said quietly. I keep getting the sense that all of this, everything we've seen, isn't meant to protect the echo from us. It's meant to protect us from the echo. How do you mean? Rowan asked, adjusting his satchel. Mira hesitated. If the truth buried here is powerful enough to shape destinies and rewrite histories, then maybe it's not just a danger. Maybe it's something that changes the person who touches it. Rowan exhaled. Reverence and caution often look the same. A soft wind curled around them. Impossible this deep underground. And the hum grew louder, more insistent. It wrapped around Myra's senses, and suddenly she wasn't walking through a corridor anymore. She was somewhere else. A memory, but not hers. A woman in silver robes knelt beside a massive crystalline chamber, her hands trembling as she sealed its glowing core. Tears streaked her face. Let this truth sleep, she whispered, until the world is ready to bear it. The vision shattered. Mira gasped, stumbling forward into Jalen's arms. You went pale, he said. What happened? She pressed a hand to her forehead. I think the echo is remembering, or making me remember. I saw someone sealing it away, on purpose. Jalen frowned. To protect it. To protect everyone else, Mira whispered. Whatever's in that core, it broke her. They continued down the passage until it opened into a vast chamber. The ceiling soared like the inside of a cathedral, crystalline pillars rising like frozen lightning bolts. At the center floated a sphere of golden energy, slowly turning, casting shifting patterns along the walls. Mira felt its pull instantly. A sorrowful longing. Plea. Jalen's hand shot out and grabbed her wrist before she could take another step. Careful. I'm fine, she said, though her heart was pounding. Rowan slowly approached the perimeter of the glowing field. So this is the echo of eternity. It feels alive, Mira whispered. It is, said a new voice. They spun around. A figure stepped from the shadows. An elder woman wrapped in dark embroidered robes, her eyes bright with ageless intensity. She walked with the confidence of someone who belonged in sacred places. Who are you? Rowan demanded. A guardian, she said simply. One of the last. I've watched over this place for 50 years. And I knew, sooner or later, someone would arrive who could hear it. Her gaze settled on Mira. It calls to you because it remembers you, the guardian said. Not your body, your resonance. Your spirit matches the one who sealed it away. Myra's breath caught. That's impossible. I've never been here. Not in this life, the guardian answered. A silence fell over them, heavy and electric. So what happens now? Jalen asked. The guardian lifted her staff, its crystal tip glowing faintly. Now she chooses. Mira swallowed. Chooses what? Whether to wake the echo, or let it sleep for another age. The sphere pulsed, its gold deepening into amber. Mira felt its pull again, gentle, yearning, like a truth begging to be set free. Her heart pounded as she stepped forward, the chamber shimmering with possibility. The chamber vibrated with a low, resonant hum as Mira stepped toward the floating sphere. Each footfall echoed softly, as though the ground itself awaited her decision. Jalen and Rowan stood behind her, tense, unsure whether to call her back or let her move forward. The guardian watched with quiet intensity. "Do not fear the echo," she said. "Fear only what it will reveal." Mira swallowed hard. The warmth radiating from the sphere wrapped around her like sunlight through water, gentle, inviting, but full of unfathomable depth. She lifted her hand. The glowstone she carried flickered, its light shifting in rhythm with the rotating sphere, as if recognizing it. A faint whisper brushed her ear. "You came back." Mira froze. "Did you hear that?" "Hear what?" Rowan asked. But Myra's eyes were fixed on the glowing core. A swirl of energy flared inside the sphere, and suddenly Mira was pulled into another vision, this one stronger, more overwhelming. She stood in a courtyard bathed in silver moonlight. The woman from before, the robed figure, was arguing with a group of elders, her voice trembling with emotion. "We cannot destroy it," the woman insisted. "The truth it carries is too powerful, too necessary. One day they will need it. Or it will consume them," one elder replied. The woman pressed a hand over her heart. "Then let the person most capable of carrying its weight find it. Even if she must be born again and again to do so." The vision dissolved. Mira stumbled back into the present, breath ragged. Jalen rushed to her side. "Mira, what did it show you this time?" She shook her head slowly, then looked up at the guardian. "I think this is tied to me in ways I don't understand. It's been waiting, not for someone to open it." She placed a trembling hand over her chest. "But for me." The guardian nodded, eyes softening. "You are her echo as much as it is the world's." The sphere brightened, pulsing with expectant energy. The warm gold shifted to a deep, molten amber, swirling in complex patterns. Mira stepped closer until she stood only inches away. She could feel its heartbeat, or something like one, throbbing faintly through the air. "What happens if I wake it?" Mira asked. "Truth without preparation can destroy," the guardian said. "But truth in the hands of the right bearer can heal generations." Rowan frowned. "And if she chooses not to? Then the echo sleeps. The world continues blind to what lies beneath its history." Another tremor rolled through the chamber, as though the mountain itself shuddered with impatience. Dust rained softly from the crystalline pillars. The light around the sphere flickered, stretching outward, almost touching Myra's outstretched palm. She felt an emotion from it now. Clear, gentle, aching. Loneliness. The echo wasn't only a force. It was aware. Jalen stepped beside her, voice steady. "You don't have to decide alone. Whatever you choose, we're with you." Mira nodded, her eyes fixed on the sphere. "I know. But this choice, it feels like it's mine in a way I can't escape." The sphere drew closer, or perhaps Mira did. The space between them shimmered with threads of light, dancing like strands of memory seeking reunion. She whispered, "If I wake you, will you show me everything?" A single pulse answered. Deep, resonant, certain. Mira took a breath and placed her hand upon the surface of the echo. Light exploded through the chamber. The pillars lit up like captured lightning, and the air rippled with waves of ancient energy. Jalen shielded his eyes. Rowan stumbled back, and even the guardian raised her staff as if bracing against a storm. But Mira did not move. The light wrapped around her like a cocoon, lifting her slowly off the ground. Golden threads spun around her arms, her face, her entire being. Her mind filled with 1,000 distant voices, stories, warnings, memories from a time long forgotten. And beneath it all, a question. Are you ready?